Today, we're diving into something fascinating. We're looking at how Amul, a dairy giant that was literally born from a fight for freedom, might just be the one to solve India's massive and mostly silent protein crisis.
But to really get what Amul could do in the future, we have to go back, way back. We have to understand its revolutionary past. Let's set the scene. The year is 1946.
I want you to just imagine this. It's Gujarat. The sun is scorching hot, and thousands of farmers are standing there. And as British vehicles approach, they start pouring their milk, their entire livelihood, right onto the dusty roads. Now, this wasn't madness. This was an act of pure, unadulterated desperation.
See, they were protesting this British-backed monopoly called Polson Dairy. And this system, it was just brutally exploitative. It forced farmers to sell their milk for prices so ridiculously low they couldn't even feed their own families, while that same milk was being sipped in the fancy clubs of Bombay.
So this protest, guided by incredible leaders like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, wasn't just some rebellion, it was the birth of a movement. It led to the creation of a farmer-owned cooperative that would, of course, go on to become a household name and the absolute pride of a nation, Amul.
Okay, so let's fast forward from that revolution all the way to today, because India is facing a brand new battle. It's a lot less visible, sure, but it's just as critical for the nation's health.
Just look at this number. A staggering 73% of urban Indians are protein deficient. Let that sink in. That's nearly 3 out of every 4 people in the cities suffering from poor muscle health. And here's the kicker. Many of them don't even realize it.
And the reason for this deficiency? Well, it's even more surprising. A jaw-dropping 93%. 93% of people are completely unaware of how much protein their body actually needs every day. So the problem isn't just a lack of protein, it's a profound lack of awareness. So you might be thinking, why not just eat more protein-rich foods? Well, it's not that simple. To get the right amount, you'd have to eat something like 10 whole eggs or almost half a liter of dal every single day. For most people, that's just not practical. And for the 40% of India that's vegetarian, chicken isn't even on the table.
Okay, so if traditional foods are tough, what about protein powder? I mean, that's the obvious solution, right? Well, the answer comes down to one simple, incredibly powerful barrier: cost. For the vast majority of Indians, protein supplements are a flat-out luxury.
Let's break this down. Take a family of daily wage laborers, maybe earning about 14,000 rupees a month. The cost of protein powder for that family would be 18,000 rupees. That's more than their entire income. Even for a middle-class family earning 40,000 rupees, it would eat up over half their monthly budget. So protein isn't just expensive. For 90% of the country, it's basically impossible.
And this is where Amul, the white elephant of India, comes back into our story. Because they have a secret weapon that could completely flip this entire equation on its head.
Now, to understand Amul's incredible advantage, you gotta first know how whey protein is even made. It all starts when you make cheese or paneer. The milk separates into solid curds and this liquid, and that liquid, that's whey.
So here's the most important part of this whole story. Whey protein isn't a primary product. It is a byproduct of making something else. So for a company that's already making massive amounts of cheese and paneer, the raw material for whey protein is, well, it's essentially free.
And who processes more milk than anyone else on the planet? Yep, Amul. They handle 3.5 crore, that's 35 million liters of milk every single day. This gives them a gigantic, non-stop supply of this free byproduct.
And the result of all that scale is just mind-blowing. Because they do everything in-house, Amul can sell protein for about 2.7 rupees per gram. Now that's roughly half the price of the big international brands and the domestic ones too. Half.
But, a huge cost advantage is only part of the story. Amul's real genius, where it gets really interesting, is in its go-to-market strategy.
Instead of trying to convince millions of Indians to start a whole new habit, like drinking weird-tasting protein shakes, Amul is just enhancing the stuff people already buy and love every single day. They're integrating protein right into the daily staples, making the choice to be healthier a super easy upsell, not some disruptive new behavior.
But how do they get all these products to you? Well, this is Amul's ultimate superpower, what some people call their Brahmastra, their distribution. While other brands are stuck in specialty health stores or trying to sell online, Amul is everywhere.
Just how everywhere are we talking? Over 1 million retail outlets. 1 million.
That means Amul can make a high-protein buttermilk just as easy to buy as a regular carton of milk. That's something no other protein brand can even dream of doing.
And get this model is also unbelievably profitable. Because of their brand power, Amul gives lower margins to retailers and spends next to nothing, like 1% of revenue, on marketing. So after all the costs, they're left with nearly double the revenue per unit compared to a conventional brand. It's an almost unbeatable business model.
But hey, the path to dominating the protein market isn't exactly a straight line. Amul still has to navigate a few pretty significant challenges. First, they've got to educate consumers and break the myth that protein is only for gym bros and bodybuilders. Second, they have to convince families that paying a little extra for a high-protein product is a worthwhile investment in their health. And finally, and this might be the most important one, these products have to taste good, really good.
So, it all comes down to this one crucial question. Can the brand that was born from one revolution to secure India's milk supply now lead a second one? Can Amul actually solve the country's protein crisis and kickstart a new era of national health? Well, only time will tell.